Welcome to A Soldier's Note channel. Before continuing to watch this video, don't forget to press the subscribe button, activate notifications, like, and share with your friends. Thank you.
The Chinese J-31 jet has been test flown by a Chinese aviation company in order to check its competitiveness against the American F-35, which is considered the most advanced fighter on the planet. China's latest fifth-generation J-31 Gyrfalcon stealth fighter is being projected as a carrier-based warplane just like the U.S. F-35 Lightning II, also a fifth-generation combat aircraft. According to reports, the Chinese J-31 stealth fighter has been test flown by a Chinese aviation company in order to check its competitiveness against the American F-35, which is considered the most advanced fighter on the planet. The F-35, developed by American aerospace giant Lockheed Martin, is a single-seat, single-engine, all-weather multirole fighter. The combat jet has been designed to perform an array of roles, including both air superiority and strike missions. Already in service with 9 countries, the F-35 is feared all around the world and is possibly the only aircraft to take on the lethal, Russian-made S-400 surface-to-air missiles. Apart from that, the fighter has an impressive armament, advanced avionics, and is endowed with electronic warfare and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. The J-31 fighter. The J-31 Gyrfalcon, also known as Shenyang FC-31 or J-35, is a twin-engine, mid-size fifth-generation fighter developed by Shenyang Aircraft Corporation. It is the second indigenous stealth fighter built after the Chengdu J-20. It took its maiden flight in 2012. As per military experts, the J-31 has been designed to provide advanced defense capabilities in close air support, aerial bombing, and air interdiction operations. It also boasts the ability to perform suppression of enemy air defenses. The fighter reportedly possesses extraordinary maneuverability, stealth features, and has 2 internal weapons that can carry 2 medium-range missiles. It has superior avionics, sensors providing enhanced situational awareness, improved radar tracking and targeting capabilities, and integrated electronic warfare systems. Reports also suggest that the latest prototype of the J-31 might have undergone a number of modifications, which may further strengthen the combat abilities of the Chinese military. According to sources, the J-31 is considered China's most ambitious export-quality fighter jet as it offers a cheaper multi-role platform with strike capabilities and stealth features. The fighter reportedly possesses extraordinary maneuverability, stealth features, and has 2 internal weapons that can carry 2 medium-range missiles. It has superior avionics, sensors providing enhanced situational awareness, improved radar tracking and targeting capabilities, and integrated electronic warfare systems. Reports also suggest that the latest prototype of the J-31 might have undergone a number of modifications, which may further strengthen the combat abilities of the Chinese military. According to sources, the J-31 is considered China's most ambitious export-quality fighter jet as it offers a cheaper multi-role platform with strike capabilities and stealth features. Is J-31 the Chinese version of F-35? Many experts are baffled by the similarities between the Chinese jet and Lockheed Martin's fifth-generation fighter. According to military expert Chris Osborne, all pictures and renderings of the new Chinese fighters have striking similarities to the F-35 fighters. However, he suggests that it does not come as a surprise, given that China is notorious for copying models from other countries. The influence of American and Russian fighter jets was noticed in many Chinese aircraft in the past. According to analysts, several elements of the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor and F-35 have been found in China's J-20 fighter as well. Also, there have been similarities between Russia's Sukhoi Su-33 aircraft and the Chinese J-15 aircraft. Military expert Peter Susha says, while the Chinese might have stolen much of the data from the United States in building the J-31, it does not mean that the fighter can actually compete with the F-35 fighter. Similar, yet different. While the J-31 might look similar to the F-35 fighter in physical aspects, it is unclear whether the Chinese fighter has the same stealth capabilities as that of the F-35. The J-31 possesses a stealth aerodynamic design and it is likely to have stealth coating as well. However, the factors which may make it different from the F-35 are the presence of radar-absorbent coating materials and the use of internal weapons bays. According to Global Security, Beijing lacks the extensive electronic support and aerial refueling capabilities that are currently possessed by American stealth fighters like the F-35 and the F-22 Raptor. At this point, there is also a lack of clarity whether the J-31 will be inducted as a carrier-based naval fighter. Also, even if the fighter does possess carrier capability, it is not known whether it would be able to operate from the PLA Navy's two carriers with ski-jump flight decks. Given these scenarios, some experts believe there is a higher chance of the J-31 fighter competing against fourth-generation American fighters, rather than the fifth-generation stealth pair of F-35 and F-22 Raptor. Chinese media reports are now referencing new photos of the emerging J-31 5th-gen stealth fighter appearing on social media, ostensibly showing various design improvements to the new radar-evading multi-role aircraft. A May 5 report in the Global Times, an English-language Chinese newspaper, says the new photos show an upgraded version with modifications made to its aerodynamic design, just like the prototype that made its maiden flight in 2016, instead of the original version that made its public debut at Airshow China in 2014. Improvements or changes to the J-31 likely continue a long-standing pattern of China's alleged effort to copy, steal or mirror designs used for the US F-35. Virtually all photos and renderings of the J-31, since first unveiled, revealed a striking resemblance to the US F-35. This does not come to the surprise of many in the US, given China's well-known and documented cyberespionage efforts. A 2014 U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission congressional report specifically cites a Defense Science Board found that Chinese cyberattacks resulted in the theft of significant specs and technical details of a range of U.S. weapons systems, including the F-35. At the same time, a 2018 Pentagon news story about DOD's annual China report mentions that apparent similarities between the F-35 and Chinese J-20 could very well be a result of espionage. A cursory look at the J-20 does appear to show some resemblance to the F-35, particularly the blended wing body front end and internally built, conformal exhaust pipes. These similarities do appear, despite the apparent differences, as the J-20 has a wider and longer lower body. However, available photos show an even larger measure of similarity between the F-35 and Chinese J-31 multi-role fighter. As recently as last year, another Global Times report said the J-31 showed design improvements at the 2019 Paris Air Show. Photos from the story reveal profound visual similarities between the F-35 and J-31. This is not without precedent, as the Chinese media itself has noted similarities between the two aircraft. Portions of a story from the Chinese government's People's Daily Online, as far back as 2013, specifically cites design similarity between the emerging Chinese J-31 and the F-35, writing that the J-31 and F-35 use the same DSI inlet non-boundary layer separated lane supersonic inlet. The only major difference, the paper notes, is that the US has an F-35B short takeoff and landing variant and that the J-31 uses two engines compared to the F-35's single-engine propulsion configuration. The article's reference to a non-boundary layer separated lane supersonic inlet appears both interesting and significant, as it pertains to designs engineered to manage heat and air movement signatures demonstrated by the aerodynamic phenomenon of airflow surrounding the supersonic flight. Boundary layer aerodynamics, referring to the airflow surrounding a weapon or platform as it transits, can greatly impact the flight stability and stealth characteristics of an aircraft. A pertinent comparison can be found in the Air Force Research Laboratory's current work on boundary layer phenomenology related to next-generation hypersonic weapons. Senior Air Force science and technology leaders and weapons developers told me at the Air Force Association Symposium in 2019 that boundary layer phenomenology was figuring prominently in ongoing research and development regarding future weapons and platforms. Managing heat flow and the temperature is, of course, vital to maintaining flight stability for hypersonic weapons traveling at speeds up to 5 times the speed of sound. Developers seek to engineer configurations that will generate a laminar or smooth airflow as opposed to a turbulent boundary layer to enable a weapon to sustain an accurate trajectory and manage excessive heat. Therefore, by extension, it seems apparent the same aerodynamic principles apply to stealth aircraft configurations that seek to manage the heat signatures and turbulence potentially generated in the airflow boundary layers of stealth jets flying at supersonic speeds. Accordingly, a non-boundary layer separated lane for airflow, as cited by the article, which does not break up or radically change airflow trajectory, could not only ensure smoother flight at high speeds but also help manage the temperature. Of course, there would be significant differences between the thermal management technical engineering needed for hypersonics and stealth aircraft, yet smoother wing body melded external designs, absent hard or protruding edges, clearly bring the added advantage of a smoother and cooler airflow boundary layer. Along these lines, the 2019 Global Times report details a few design changes to the 2019 J-31 which, according to the photographs, show a smoother, less jagged exterior behind the cockpit compared to earlier models. The Chinese newspaper stops short of exploring a fully detailed discussion of aerodynamic designs related to the aircraft, but does cite a Chinese Air Force test pilot expert as saying, the J-31's stealth aerodynamic design, stealth engine design, and stealth coating design have all reached internationally advanced standards in stealth technology. China's Air Force test pilot expert Xu Yangling. However, external configuration and some elements of visible heat signature management represent merely a few of many characteristics when it comes to stealth technology. Stealth designs also often incorporate internally built engines, radar-absorbent coating materials, and internal weapons bays, among other things. Along these lines, the People's Daily Online report makes the claim that the J-31 has a superior weapons payload capability compared with the F-35. However, available specs report that the J-31 travels with 6 external weapons hardpoints, the same number as the F-35. As for how the J-31 may be employed, Chinese and US newspapers are filled with various kinds of speculation. Some reports say the fighter is intended for export as a way to counter the reach and scope of the F-35. However, other reports cite Chinese officials saying the J-31 is intended for domestic use and possibly could even fly off of Chinese aircraft carriers. Chinese progress with the J-31 calls to mind several timely strategic calculations. A more recent congressional report, the 2018 U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission, makes specific reference to concern regarding China's expansionist aims when it comes to projecting air, land, and sea power. The text of the review points to dramatic upticks in long-distance over-water training, exercises over new areas in recent years which, the study goes on to suggest, improves the PLA Air Force's capability to gather intelligence and execute maritime missions against the U.S. In November and December 2017, China's People's Liberation Army (PLA) Air Force conducted at least 9 long-distance training flights over maritime areas along China's periphery, continuing a trend that began in 2015, stated the 2018 U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission. All of this pertains to the often and widely discussed recognition that China has long since passed its ambitions to operate as a dominant regional power and migrated aggressively toward positioning itself as a massive, leading global power.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments. See you in the next video.